Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the pre-show for the second WrestleMania in the WWE Universe Mode series. My name is BrendenPlayz, and today I'm joined alongside Bizzy.
What's up? How's it going?
We've also got Slim here as well.
Yo.
And Samir.
Hi.
And finally, the man still with the best pay-per-view reviews on the internet, the returning TheLunaticGinge.
What's up, everybody?
Seems like we can't get rid of you, Ginge. You're on here every single time.
Yeah, I'm stuck to you like glue, mate.
So today we're going to be running through this year's WrestleMania card, including 12 huge matches, making it the biggest event in the history of Universe Mode. So let's get straight into it. So we'll start off the show with the pre-show match, which will air later on after this pre-show. We found out in the recent episode of Main Event that it would be Sheamus versus Batista for an opportunity to earn the first draft pick for their respective brands. So we're going to kick it off with you, Slim. Who do you think is going to win this matchup?
I've got Batista winning because with all the momentum SmackDown has had, I just see him walking out with the win.
What about you, Bizzy?
I've got Sheamus winning this match.
Samir?
I've got Sheamus.
And Ginge?
I've got Batista and make it 2-2 on the old predictions there.
Yeah, so kind of split here. I mean, I don't really know myself who's going to win. I mean, Sheamus looked pretty good in that match, but mind you, he got a bit of a lucky win, and Batista didn't exactly have a great match on SmackDown either. He ended up losing pretty convincingly to Christian, so it's really even. I'm not sure. Bizzy, how do you feel about Sheamus winning the way that he did? Do you think Daniel Bryan should be in there instead?
I feel like Daniel Bryan should be in WrestleMania instead of Sheamus due to that sneak attack on Daniel Bryan caused him not to be able to capitalize on his finishing move to Randy Orton.
Well, you're right, because before the match even started, Sheamus attacked Daniel Bryan, so Daniel Bryan was already at a disadvantage before the match even started, so Sheamus automatically had the advantage. Not exactly fair. Ginge, SmackDown has dominated every brand encounter, brand versus brand encounter. Every time we've seen the two brands go at it, SmackDown just seems to find a way to win every time. What does Raw need to do to become a stronger brand?
Yeah, I think they need to take a leaf out of SmackDown's book. I mean, the acquisitions that SmackDown has made, like over the past year or so, have been pretty good with like Chris Jericho and Christian, and definitely the introduction of Kevin Owens is a big thing because I think Raw needs to get in more younger talent. Because let's face it, The Rock and Triple H, they're good, but they're not the future. They're definitely the past. But I think Raw are starting to get to grips with this, especially when they've the Shield have come back and come into big form and Dolph Ziggler as well. So they're getting there, but they're not quite as on SmackDown's level quite yet.
Well, perhaps the draft will be the right place for Raw to kind of pick up some stars from SmackDown, steal a few over, and try and even the brands up a little bit. I mean, Raw has been pretty good, but like you said, SmackDown, they brought over Christian, they brought over Jericho, Owens coming in as well, Sting there as well, some big names on SmackDown, and Raw's really struggling a little bit, but they're starting to pick it back up, certainly with Ambrose coming in over there as well. So we'll go on to our next matchup. So this one is going to open the WrestleMania show, and this match will be between John Cena and Brock Lesnar. So this one's all about Brock Lesnar trying to get some revenge on John Cena. I mean, John Cena cost Brock Lesnar twice an opportunity to be in the Elimination Chamber match, and Cena ended up not actually winning that matchup. Now Lesnar wants one last chance to be the next number one contender for the world title, but he has to beat John Cena at WrestleMania to do it. It is a number one contenders match. It's Brock Lesnar versus John Cena one-on-one, and we'll start it off with you, Samir. Who do you have winning this one?
I have Brock Lesnar winning this one. I mean, I think Cena, after screwing Lesnar so many times, I think Lesnar's opened up and the beast has awakened and he's ready to just destroy John Cena.
What about you, Slim?
I've got John Cena winning this match because I think Brock Lesnar's frustrations are going to cost him in that match.
Bizzy?
I'm going with Lesnar with this one. I mean, we got the beast. He's about to take Cena to Suplex City. I'm sure he's going to come out with a big win for number one contender.
And Ginge, finally.
I'm going to go with Super Cena on this one. I think that Lesnar's probably more focused on beating up John Cena than actually beating John Cena. So I think that will maybe cost him in the long run.
I agree, Ginge.
That's fair enough.
Thanks, bro.
All right, so Samir, we've seen how dominant Brock Lesnar can be. But since he's been here on SmackDown, he hasn't exactly won the big one. When he was on Raw, nobody could stop him. But since he's been on SmackDown, he gets some momentum, then he kind of stops a little bit. We saw coming into the Rumble, everyone was saying Lesnar's winning, but he didn't win. And now John Cena's starting to get into his head a little bit. Cena's beaten him a couple times. So what is going on with Brock Lesnar, and why do you think he's struggling on SmackDown?
Well, I think Lesnar's just been screwed a lot on SmackDown. You see, Cena screwed him 2 times. I mean, Cena screwed him 2 times. Lesnar, it's his fault for not winning the Rumble. I can't really blame anyone for that, but yep. I would say he's just gotten screwed a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, he had a couple of chances. Cena, well, in that tag match, Brock Lesnar's life was really in John Cena's hand, and John Cena lost that one, but in a fair one-on-one match, Cena did beat Brock Lesnar, so, I mean, Lesnar just hasn't been consistent. So, Slim, would you say a switch back to Raw for the loser of this match, whether it be John Cena or Brock Lesnar, would be the best option for them to take?
I think it would be, because both men, in my opinion, have been struggling of late. Because going back to the Royal Rumble, everyone thought that Brock Lesnar would win, and John Cena had the 30 spot, but they did not win it. But neither one won. So, I mean, and then John Cena lost in the Elimination Chamber. So, I mean, yeah.
I mean, if you have one of the two go back to Raw, they can obviously restart themselves. Brock Lesnar's had so much success on Raw. Cena, his time on Raw was okay. The latter part of his Raw career was really the downfall of John Cena, so perhaps him staying on SmackDown might be the best thing for him, but certainly a switch back to Raw could be the best thing for Lesnar. So the next matchup we have is for the Divas Championship, as Emma goes one-on-one with number 1 contender Naomi. We'll start off with you, Ginge. Who do you think is going to win this one?
Yeah, I've got the number 1 contender Naomi in this one. I think she's looked good in the number 1 contender series. I think she's going to pull it out.
Busy?
I'm going to go with Emma on this one. I thought Natalya was going to beat Naomi. She looked a little shaky, so I think Emma's going to come out victorious at this.
Slim?
Naomi.
Samir?
Naomi.
I think Naomi as well, because I've spoken about it on the pre-shows in the past, and we talked about how I believe Naomi is on the rise. I really picked her to win at the Royal Rumble, and it ended up being Emma. So I really believe Naomi's probably the best pick to come in, and certainly at WrestleMania, Naomi has experience. She's been a Divas Champion before, has a big chance of coming away with the gold this time. So Jens, just going on that as well, we've talked about how, Naomi, we believed that she was going to be a future Divas Champion. So how do you feel about her road to WrestleMania so far?
Yeah, she's definitely looked good in the number 1 contender series. She beat great, strong contenders in Paige and Natalya. I mean, come on, there's not many better divas than those two out there. And she's definitely got all the skills. But, she's had a few rocky moments, but I definitely think she's going to pull it out. So
no love for Nikki Bella there? I mean, you said Natalya and Paige. You don't think Nikki Bella's any good?
No.
So, Samir, Emma has looked the goods as a champion thus far, but how do you feel about her title reign? I mean, do you think she's been convincing? Do you think she's worthy of being champion? Do you think she still has enough in the tank to remain at the top of the division?
Well, I think she has enough in the tank to remain, but it's going to be tough on her, as she has Naomi, and she has Naomi, who has a lot of momentum going into the match at WrestleMania.
Yep.
And she's had it a good title reign, because she's gone up against 2-on-1 basically, because Brie Bella and Nikki Bella.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, when you face Brie Bella, you're basically facing Nikki as well, and Emma was still good enough to beat both of them essentially at the Elimination Chamber. We'll move on to the next one now. We have the WWE Tag Team Championship matchup. They're up for grabs as the Hall of Destruction, Mark Henry and Kane, they look to continue their momentum by knocking off the current champions, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. So I personally believe the Hall of Destruction have been amazing. I mean, honestly, this team is just beating everybody right now. Cesaro and Kidd have to be very concerned, but they did manage to pick up a singles win over them. So it's a bit back and forth between the two. It was one apiece. So I think this is going to be probably one of the most interesting matches on the card. I really believe a title change could happen here. I personally believe the Hall of Destruction are going to win. Bizzy, we'll start off with you. Who do you think is going to win this one?
I got the Hall of Destruction winning if they stick to their team plan and, swapping out each other. Isolated, Cesaro can easily defeat Mark Henry, as we saw. But together, if they stand together, they're definitely going to come out with the title.
Well, that's right. They have the size advantage over both men. While Cesaro is a very strong man, doesn't have the strength compared to Mark Henry or Kane. So clearly a one-on-one, Cesaro might hold up his own, but a two-on-one, well, good luck. So, Ginge, who do you think's going to win?
Yeah, I strongly agree with Bizzy there. I think because of how old shall we say, of Henry and Kane are.
What about experienced?
Yeah, maybe experience is maybe a better word for it. But yeah, if they do get isolated, they'll probably tire very quickly, and we know how athletic Cesaro and Tyson Kidd are. But if they stick to their own game plan, cut the corners off, cut the half of the ring off, use their power to their advantage, I definitely could see new tag team champions here. So
basically we're saying if this team does employ good tag team work, whoever does the best tag team work will probably come away with the win. So Samir, who do you have winning this one?
I have Kane and Mark Henry winning this match, but both teams have to work as a tag team. And as Henry and Kane are strong and powerful, Kidd and Cesaro have the speed advantage, so they can basically break up pins faster than Henry and Kane.
That's a good point. We've seen the pin breakup occur so many times during a tag match, and in fact, it's probably one of the most pivotal points in a tag team match. You're right, Cesaro and Kidd are going to be able to move and be more agile, so much faster than Mark Henry and Kane, who are too big and slow and, well, we used the word before, experienced, aka old, so they're not going to be able to get in the ring that quickly. So if there is a pinfall situation, perhaps Cesaro and Kidd are going to be able to break it up faster. So just finally, Slim, who do you have winning this one?
I have Cesaro and Kidd winning this one. I don't think Cesaro and Kidd are ready to give up the tag team gold yet.
Well, they've been champions for a while now, and honestly, they've been pretty impressive. I've enjoyed their title reigns thus far, but like I said earlier, Mark Henry and Kane have just been dominating everyone. And so, Bizzy, I turn it back to you now. So, the only way to describe the recent success of Mark Henry and Kane has just been simply impressive, because they've dominated every team in their past over the past 4 weeks in particular. So, what has been the secret for their success, do you think?
I think being the secret is the way that they go in there, they do their powerful moves, they tag each other in constantly, and then you have, Mark Henry, he's the world's strongest man. He hits his finisher, it's over.
Yeah, and then Kane will grab you by the throat and choke slam you all the way to hell. It's a hard combination to really come up against. Slim, there's a few guys not exactly doing all that well on the Raw roster, or that are struggling. Which two guys would you pair up as a tag team to perhaps challenge the tag team champions down the line?
I would go with Neville and Barrett, because both men have really been struggling, and I know Neville had a team with Sami Zayn, but I think that tag team would benefit both men.
Well, you have the UK connection between the two, so perhaps that chemistry just from the two, being from the same kind of background, perhaps that might favour them more. So we'll move on to the next one. I suppose this one is a bit about chemistry and tag team as well. Two friends, two allies, two former tag partners, both now turned into bitter enemies. They'll compete in a match that will start it all. The TLC match, it's Christian versus Chris Jericho. This is probably perhaps one of the most heated rivalries we've ever seen in Universe Mode, and now it's going to culminate at WrestleMania. The one last time we'll see these two compete, WrestleMania. Who is going to pick up the win? Bizzy, start it off.
I'm going to go with Chris Jericho in this. I like what I've seen from Chris Jericho as far as the early advantage with the assault, the constant code breakers on Christian. I like Christian. Christian can get out of a situation, but I'm going to go with Chris Jericho in this one.
Well, you have to wonder, is Christian going to come into this match 100%? He did just manage to fend off Batista's attack on SmackDown, but the week before, Jericho beat the hell out of Christian, and it was clear that he wasn't exactly moving around all that greatly on SmackDown. He was, the rumor is he's got some bruised ribs and perhaps even a concussion, so Christian's not 100% coming in. He still was good enough to pick up the win on SmackDown, but perhaps you could wonder, has he got enough left to actually win this one? Ginge, who do you think is going to win?
I do know one thing about this match, and it's going to be very, very brutal. As for the winner, I'm going to go with Chris Jericho. I think he's just a slight level above Christian, and especially with these attacks we've seen in the past few weeks, I definitely think Chris Jericho is going to win this one.
Yeah, well, Jericho, a former world heavyweight champion as well, cannot dispute that. He's been at the top of his game in the last 6 months. Going to be very tough to beat. Samir, who's your pick?
I'm gonna have to go with Chris Jericho. Like you guys said, Christian isn't going 100% into this match as on SmackDown. Chris Jericho just brutally assaulted Christian, and Jericho, in my opinion, just has had more success than Christian.
Yeah, well, Christian's yet to win any singles championships in Universe Mode, whereas Jericho, Money in the Bank winner, world champion. So singles-wise, definitely Jericho is probably a whole entire level above Christian, just in terms of success. Finally, Slim, who's your prediction?
I agree wholeheartedly with Ginge. I think Chris Jericho is walking out with the win here.
So, Ginge, can these two guys stay on the same brand? You know, we've seen these two battle each other for such a long time now. Is it possible that we could see these two guys stay on the same brand after WrestleMania? If not, who would you like to see drafted to Raw and why?
I don't think there's any way that these two can just stay civil on the same brand. In my opinion, one must be drafted. And from Raw's point of view, I think they'd be happy for either of these to make their way over to the red brand. But if I was to choose one to go over to Raw, I would definitely go with Chris Jericho. As I said, slightly above Christian, former world champion. We get another former world champion on Raw, and I definitely think he'd mix things up a bit.
Well, Jericho had some good success towards the end of his Raw run, but obviously the pinnacle on SmackDown. So perhaps Jericho would rather stay on SmackDown, but it's definitely interesting. Jericho's won the world title now on SmackDown. Perhaps going back to Raw, he can win the WWE Championship and become, really the man. He can achieve everything. Bizzy, Batista has gotten himself involved in this match recently. We saw it on SmackDown. He's formed some kind of alliance with Chris Jericho. Do you think he could play a factor in this match?
I think Batista can play a factor in this match. We saw Christian was able to scapegoat out of that assault for Batista was trying to lay down. I'm sure Batista might make an appearance, distract Christian in some way.
Yeah, you're right. And he just managed to escape. Perhaps Batista would like to get some revenge. Samir, do you think Chris Jericho did the right thing by going his separate ways with Christian all those months ago? Should he have remained a team with him to help pursue his singles glory on SmackDown, or was turning his back on Christian the right thing to do?
I think turning his back on Christian was the right thing to do. I mean, he was world champion. He was world champion. He had so much success as a single competitor.
So the Dudley Boys are back again for another shot at the Usos World Tag Team Championships. We'll run through this one quickly. We've got Ginge. Who's your prediction here?
I'm going to go with the Usos for this one.
Slim?
I got the Dudleys.
Bizzy?
I got the Dudleys.
And Samir?
Dudleys.
So I think...
no.
Well, our predictions kind of say we want to have ourselves new World Tag Team Champions. Slim, the Usos have run through the entire SmackDown division. Where do you rank them on the list of best tag teams we've ever seen in Universe Mode?
On my list, they're number 2 behind the Shield because they've been making waves this Universe Mode.
Well, you're right. I mean, originally they had such a bad run, but now, ever since coming to SmackDown, they've kind of turned it all around. And ever since winning the World Tag Team Championships, they've dominated everyone. So they're doing very, very well. But you're right. I think definitely right up there. I would put them probably in the top 5 at least. Maybe, in my opinion, I would still put the Wyatts ahead of them, but obviously the Usos are beating the Wyatts enough. Ginge, which team would you like to see come over from Raw to challenge the Usos for the tag titles if they do end up winning?
Definitely the Ascension. I mean, we've seen them dominate on Raw like the Usos have dominated on SmackDown. But despite poor form recently, I definitely think they could cause the Usos some problems. And on the note of the Dudleys, surely if the Dudleys don't win here, is that their career over? I mean, what have they've had 2 chances at the Tag Team Championships and failed. What do they have to do to stay into this Universe Mode? I mean, come on, they've barely done anything. Yeah, get in the back of the line, I say, because if you can't win after two attempts, well, it's either you go to Raw or you get the hell out. So,
They've had it pretty tough. You know, I think we all thought the Dudleys would come in and just win, but the Usos have proven that, hey, we're still the best. We're number one around here. Get in line. You're not as good as us just yet, so perhaps the Dudleys are out to prove something themselves at WrestleMania, and the Usos are out to still prove to the world that they perhaps are the best tag team in the WWE right now. So, our next matchup, we have the Game Triple H and Ryback. They'll finally settle their differences at WrestleMania in singles action. So, we'll start it off with Samir. Who do you think wins this one?
I'm gonna have to go with Triple H, the King of Kings. He's always won. Like, he's ever since coming back in action, he's just been on a roll.
Bizzy?
I got Triple H for this one.
Ginge?
Yeah, I've got the Cerebral Assassin as well.
Slim?
Ryback.
I have to go with Ryback as well. I mean, Triple H got the upper hand at one point. He beat Ryback, yes, but I just feel as though Ryback, I mean, he's out for vengeance. He lost at last year's WrestleMania. He wants to win badly, and he wants to beat Triple H to try and, you know, silence the critics. So many people have said that that Ryback is not cut out for Monday Night Raw. He needs to go back to SmackDown. I think Ryback wants to prove that he can be successful here on Raw, and by beating Triple H, that immediately skyrockets him straight into the main event scene. So, Samir, do you agree with Ryback? He said on Monday Night Raw that he believes the reason for his downfall is because of Triple H and the way that he used him and was managing him last year. So do you agree with what Ryback said?
Yeah, I definitely agree on what Ryback said. I mean, Ryback was just basically Triple H's toy, like Triple H's pet.
Triple H basically used Ryback to go in there and beat up whoever he could. At the time, obviously, Randy Orton, but he never really put 100% of his time into Ryback, certainly not like he did with Brock Lesnar. So, Bizzy, we talked about a moment ago how great Ryback was on SmackDown. Should he go back to SmackDown and try to relive his former glory, or should he stay on Raw and tough it out and become a champion here on Raw and really, you know, put his place right up there as one of the best in the universe?
If Ryback loses to Triple H, I definitely think he should go back to SmackDown. I mean, you look at the talent. We got Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. I don't think Ryback is going to be ready for that if he loses to Triple H.
Slim, should Triple H remain full-time on the roster? We've seen him back for a couple of months now, and he's looked pretty good. Or, you know, if he loses against Ryback, should he look to rejoin the management team and try and become an authority figure again?
No, I think if he loses that, he's going to be looking for revenge, and I think he should remain a full-time competitor on the Raw roster.
All right, I think I agree. I want to see Triple H compete more. I mean, we saw the authority thing. We've seen him do it. Let's see what he can do in the ring. He hasn't had much success in the ring in Universe Mode yet. So moving on now, we've got the Intercontinental Championship matchup. It's up for grabs as four of SmackDown's best. Jack Swagger, Rusev, Big Show, and Bray Wyatt. They all contest in a fatal four-way for this one. So, Ginge, who do you have winning this?
I've got Bray Wyatt for this one.
So you think the champion's going to retain? Bizzy, what about you?
I think the champion's going to retain.
Samir?
I think the champion's going to retain.
Slim?
I got the champion retaining.
Well, there you go. Clean sweep, Bray Wyatt. I think Bray Wyatt as well, because, look, honestly, Bray Wyatt, he hasn't had the championship for very long, but I think he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's had a pretty bad run ever since losing to Dean Ambrose a few times. Bray Wyatt's fallen down the card a little bit. I think Bray Wyatt's got something to prove, and by winning here at WrestleMania, he has that chance to prove that. So, Ginge, out of the four superstars in this match, which of them could you see rise to the top and become a potential world champion?
I mean, when I look at these four guys, there's like a couple that I could see maybe go on. I mean, Rusev could be one because, you know, he's looked good in the past. Maybe not quite as recently, but definitely before. But the main guy is the Intercontinental Champion, Bray Wyatt. I definitely think he has the potential to become world champion, especially if he has his Wyatt family by his side. I mean, he could just do anything.
Yeah, you're right.
I agree.
Yeah. Big Show's been a former world champion before, but I think the Big Show's better days are now probably behind him. I don't think the Big Show can really elevate himself to that level ever again. And Jack Swagger, well, he had his chance, but was never able to take it about TLC last year. So, yeah, I think probably Bray Wyatt and Rusev for me as well. So, Bizzy, what do you think is the key to winning a fatal four-way match?
I think the key is to stay as fresh as possible. You got 4 contenders fighting, so one against one against the other one. You want to get the upper hand in so you can build your momentum faster so you can end your opponent as fast as possible.
I'm going to put my opinion in here. I think you get out of the ring and let everybody fight it out and then come in and win at the last second. That's how I would.
You're right. I mean, you try and avoid the conflict. You let the other 3 guys battle it out and you remain fresh. You come in, pick up the win. It's a smart strategy. Unfortunately, we don't see many guys actually employ that strategy. Sometimes they do, but it's quite rare. So I think someone, if they can do that in this match, might find themselves the victor in the end. Or perhaps we could even see a situation with Sheamus employed in this one where someone hits their finisher, they can't quite capitalize, you swoop in and you take the win. That's not a bad idea as well. So we'll go on to the next one. We've got The Rock. He's back. He's going to be facing Dolph Ziggler. So The Rock is the interim general manager of the show right now, and he's coming back to face Dolph Ziggler pretty much because he doesn't believe Dolph Ziggler is worthy of becoming a main eventer on Monday Night Raw. I probably disagree. I think Dolph Ziggler has what it takes, but the GM is unconvinced. He's been throwing challenge after challenge after challenge at Dolph Ziggler, and Ziggler's been kicking him out of the park. He's just beating everybody right now. The Rock is out to prove that he is better than Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler isn't worthy of being the top guy on his show. So if Ziggler wins, he'll get a WWE Championship matchup, but if he loses, he's going to be fired from Raw and sent over to SmackDown. So we'll start off with you, Ginge. Who do you think is going to win? I think I know who you're going to pick. You're a big Dolph Ziggler fan, so just tell me. Dolph Ziggler, right?
The Rock. Oh, no, sorry. I'm kidding. Yeah, Ziggler 100%.
All right, Bizzy.
I like Ziggler, but I'm going to go with The Rock on this one.
I don't know. I was expecting probably everyone to say Ziggler. What about you, Samir?
I'm going to go with Ziggler.
Slim?
I would have to go with Dolph Ziggler too.
All right, so we all probably think Ziggler's going to win this one. It's a big opportunity for Dolph Ziggler. That's the thing. That's kind of what I'm worried about. Is Dolph Ziggler good enough to win on such a huge scale? I don't know. The Rock's got all this big match experience. I don't know about Dolph Ziggler. So, Samir, if Dolph Ziggler does lose, he's going to go to SmackDown. Would that be beneficial for Dolph Ziggler's career?
No, not at all. I mean, I've seen Ziggler on Raw. He just dominated the mid-card division. He's just held the U.S. title for ages. He's defended it. Been a good champion, and now if he risks going to SmackDown, he'll probably end up getting his ass whooped. And,
Well, he might just kind of fall into the shuffle of things, just get lost in the shuffle. There's so many guys on SmackDown right now. Ziggler could just become one of those other guys. But where on Raw, he's had the opportunity to shine. So, Slim, do you think The Rock is the right choice as Raw's general manager? Obviously, he has a bit of an agenda already. He's trying to pick and choose who he wants to be his top guys. So do you think The Rock is the right choice?
No. The Rock is better off being a wrestler or shooting a movie, not a GM.
Go back to Hollywood? Maybe, yeah. Ginge, I don't know why I'm probably going to ask you this one, but is Dolph Ziggler world champion material?
Come on, Brendan. You know me. Of course he is. He is unstoppable. He could be a champ on Raw or SmackDown. It doesn't matter. Whatever brand he chooses, he will become world championship. And when he wins the title, when he wins the title, it will be the best moment in the universe mode for me. Completely, 100%.
Well, it'll be months and months and months of build-up to finally end up winning the championship. I mean, Dolph Ziggler has been champion since SummerSlam. He's been trying to bust his ass, trying to prove to everyone that he's good enough. And if he ends up winning the world title, that'd be huge. It just goes to show that you can, turn your career around and become a world champion. So we'll move on to the next one, and this is a big one, folks. I mean, this is perhaps the biggest match in the history of Universe Mode in terms of build-up and the people involved in it. 2 icons and 2 legends. They meet for the first time ever, one-on-one at WrestleMania. The Undertaker streak, it's on the line. It's still intact here in Universe Mode. It's on the line, and this will be Sting's last match, according to Sting, that is. So, who is going to win this one, Sting or The Undertaker? This is huge. Bizzy, who do you think?
This is it's a tough decision, but I'm gonna go with Taker. This is like his home court advantage right here.
Well, you're right. He's never lost. It's hard to kind of bet against Undertaker. He's never lost at WrestleMania. Home court, home ground, whatever you want to call it, has the advantage. Very difficult to beat him. Samir, who do you think?
I say Taker. I mean, and I have proofs of this. I mean, go back to the Elimination Chamber. Taker survived longer than Sting. I think he pinned him, I believe.
Yeah, he did. He ended up hitting the tombstone and pinned him.
So Sting's got to worry about that.
Well, Sting has gotten the upper hand plenty of times on the Undertaker, but in recent times, Undertaker's kind of turned the tables a little bit, and he's starting to get the upper hand. So, Ginge, do you think that's going to kind of play an impact? Do you think Undertaker will probably win, or do you think Sting's going to get it done?
I'm going to go with Sting. It may not be a popular opinion, but I'm going to go with Sting mainly because I think Taker has this vulnerability about him recently. Well, when Sting arrived first on the scene, you can see how easily Sting dominated him. Yes, Taker's come back in recent months, but I think Sting can always go back to the well, and I think he can dominate Taker. Sorry, Bailey.
All right, Slim, finally.
I'm going with Sting here.
All right, so
Nice.
there you go. So it's a bit of a toss-up there. I mean, like I said, Undertaker has the home court, but Sting, you look at the history of this rivalry that we've seen since SummerSlam, it's been all Sting, really, until the past couple months, so it's hard to kind of ignore that. I don't know. I'm going to just stay neutral. I'm not going to pick one. I have no idea who's going to win this one.
Get off that fence. Come on.
All right, I'm going to pick Undertaker. Home court advantage, Undertaker. Bizzy, should Sting keep wrestling if he does win?
If Sting does win, I would like to see Sting continue on his career. That's going to be a big win for him to just walk away from.
Well, follow that up. Do you think Sting, if he wins, should he go for the World Heavyweight Championship on SmackDown?
Of course.
Yeah.
Coming off a huge win against Taker, that's a big momentum push.
Well, you beat the streak. Obviously, you're going to have an incredible amount of momentum and probably skyrocket him straight to the main event, but he could potentially be throwing that all away and just walking away from wrestling completely. It's a tough decision. Samir, do you think this could be Undertaker's last match if he does lose?
No, I don't think it will. I mean, if Sting wins and he continues to wrestle, I mean, Taker would want revenge. Taker would just want to get at Sting.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Well, yeah, if you beat his streak, obviously he's going to want some revenge, but I mean, Sting's kind of... It seems to me Sting's going to, take away Taker's streak and just walk away so Undertaker can't do anything about it. That's just the arrogance and the, just what Sting's all about recently. It's, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about Sting right now. On one hand, he's a legend, but on the hand, the things that he's done just hasn't been the right way to go about it. Slim, Taker has achieved it all on SmackDown. If he wins, perhaps a move to Raw could be in the works for one last run at a championship. Would you like to see that?
No, because going back to what Samir said about Elimination Chamber, Undertaker pinned Sting, but I believe Kevin Owens gave Undertaker a tombstone and then pinned him. So I'd like to see that if Undertaker loses, because I don't think Undertaker's the type of guy that just takes something from someone and doesn't give them revenge.
Yeah, so you think Taker should come back and try and get one up on Owens. I mean, Kevin Owens has been unstoppable, and I suppose that's a good segue into the next matchup, and this is one of our main events here at WrestleMania. It's going to be the fastest rising superstar in Universe Mode history. Well, arguably, I think it's without a doubt. There's nobody that's ever come close to Owens. He debuted,
without a doubt.
He debuted 2 months ago, and now he's in the main event of WrestleMania. That is incredible. Kevin Owens has the chance to achieve greatness when he challenges World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk. Punk said he will retire if he loses this match. He doesn't want to wrestle anymore if he's not the best in the world. And if he loses, in his own mind, he's no longer the best. So it's all or nothing right now for CM Punk. The title's on the line. He achieves his WrestleMania dream, but he has to put his title and potentially his career on the line. Bizzy, is CM Punk going to win this match?
I'm going with Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens? Okay, Samir, what about you?
I'm going with Kevin Owens.
Slim? Kevin Owens has been very, very, very good. I mean, without a doubt, Kevin Owens has come in and he's just beaten everybody. I mean, you look at John Cena, you look at Brock Lesnar, and obviously you go to the Elimination Chamber as well, how good he's been. It's just been incredible, really.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Owens on this one. He's looked dominant. There's no way, I don't think CM Punk's winning. Owens for me.
So, follow that up, Ginge. What are your thoughts on CM Punk possibly retiring if he does lose to Kevin Owens?
I think it would be a great shame. I mean, he's a Universe Mode almost icon. If there was a Hall of Fame for Universe Mode, maybe he'd go in it. I'm not sure. But let's face facts. You can't really sympathise with him too much because he did this to himself if he loses and retires. He's the one who put the stipulation in there. No one forced him to do it. And I'm guessing this is maybe to motivate him for a match. But he should be motivated anyway. It's a world title match at WrestleMania. Why shouldn't he be motivated? I'm not sure. But so if he does decide to retire after losing, so be it, because he's put himself in that situation.
Well, Bizzy, can Kevin Owens be stopped? Can CM Punk somehow find a way? What is the key to beating Kevin Owens?
I mean, at this point, we saw him beat Brock Lesnar. He was a little shaky against Cena, but he still won. And then CM Punk, that ending where he just reversed the pin and then he beat Punk. I mean, CM Punk is going to have to stay on top of Kevin Owens because Kevin Owens is hungry.
Well, that ending right there just goes to show Kevin Owens just outclassed CM Punk easily. Punk tried to pin Owens and he reversed it and got the 1-2-3. It's something like that, so simple but so easy. Kevin Owens could just out of nowhere one-up CM Punk and win this match. And if Owens obviously wins, if he does something like that, Punk's done. He loses the title. Samir, Owens has beaten the best of the best, like we just said. Do you consider him to be the best rookie of all time in the series?
Of course. I mean, he's beating like the man. He's beating like so many legends, or future legends, like John Cena.
I mean, yeah, you can't argue that. I mean, even the Elimination Chamber as well, he beat so many guys in that one. He didn't just win the Chamber, he pinned a lot of the guys in the match as well. Slim, how would you rate Punk's Universe Mode career if this is indeed his last match? Jins reckons he's going to be a potential Hall of Famer of Universe Mode. We do indeed do that. How would you rate CM Punk?
I certainly hope it isn't his last match, but if it is indeed, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I agree with Jins. He's a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, well, two-time world champion, and he had plenty of great feuds and great moments throughout Universe Mode. It would be indeed a true tragic loss, but suppose when we lose one legend, perhaps a new one is born in Kevin Owens, if that is the case. So that's that match done. Now this is the final match on the card. 3 former tag team partners. They've gone their separate ways. One's gone to SmackDown, and the other two have just split apart and even, had many matches against one another over the course of the past 6 months. They'll now meet again in the main event of WrestleMania. Dean Ambrose, he won the Royal Rumble. He will challenge current champion Roman Reigns, the new Paul Heyman guy, and the former champion Seth Rollins, who lost the championship to Reigns in the Elimination Chamber at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. It's going to be a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. 3 brothers now completely against one another. This is going to be one hell of a match. Ginge, kick it off. Your prediction and why?
I mean, this could go any of 3 ways. I mean, all could be great champions, but I'm going to go maybe with a bit of a shock, but I'm going to go with Ambrose, the Royal Rumble winner. I'm going to go with Dean Ambrose.
Bizzy.
Like Jen said, this can go either way. I'm going to go with Reigns.
Samir.
Well, like Jen said, it can go either way, but I'm going to go with the guy that lost the championship at Elimination Chamber. He's been on a roll. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins.
Finally, Slim, your prediction.
I've got Roman Reigns retaining.
I'm going to go Roman Reigns as well, because I think the Paul Heyman factor, we saw it work with Dean Ambrose so well. You got Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman won't be in Roman Reigns' corner for the match. But I think just the pep talk, just the training and the build-up, Paul Heyman knows how to manage his clients so well for a big match. I just think Roman Reigns is going to be in the right frame of mind heading into this one. Ginge, Ambrose, he took the biggest risk, perhaps the biggest risk we've seen, shifting from SmackDown to Raw after winning the Royal Rumble. Did he make the right decision, or should he have stayed on SmackDown?
I think in Dean Ambrose's mind, there was only one place for him to go when he won the Royal Rumble, and it was Raw. He saw Seth Rollins there, he saw Roman Reigns there, especially Seth Rollins. He wanted to beat the living hell out of Seth Rollins. And so maybe that has swayed his decision. Maybe it wasn't the best, but in Dean Ambrose's mind it was. He definitely made a statement when he came to Raw. He hasn't been the best, but it may pay off in the end when he wins the world title at Mania like I predicted. So hopefully it will pay off for him.
Well, just going on what Ginge said, Slim, Ambrose has struggled to win on Raw. He hasn't, like you said, hasn't been his best. Is this going to affect his performance at WrestleMania?
Yes, I mean, you look at it, and Reigns and Rollins have both been WWE champions, as Reigns is right now. And you know that has to get in Ambrose's mind, and him losing doesn't help the cause at all.
Yeah, well, losing big matches, heading towards any match, is never going to be a good thing. Ambrose seems as though he's the bit of the underdog coming into this one. Nobody really expects him to win because Rollins and Reigns have been so good. I mean, can you see Rollins and Reigns teaming up in this match, Samir?
Perhaps. They've teamed up on Raw before against Ambrose. I mean, it can happen.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Heyman is he's a hell of a... He can get anyone to do anything he wants. Somehow he managed to put Rollins and Reigns' differences aside to come after Dean Ambrose. Perhaps we'll see the exact same thing happen in this triple threat match. Bizzy, now that Roman Reigns is the new Paul Heyman guy, how is this going to affect his career? We saw Dean Ambrose kind of skyrocket, Royal Rumble winner, Intercontinental Champion. How's this going to affect Roman Reigns?
I mean, look at Roman Reigns right now. He's your WWE champion. He's already went one-on-one with Dean Ambrose. He's speared him God knows how many times, and he's already won. We've seen him beat Seth Rollins. We've seen him and Seth Rollins work together to defeat Ambrose, which I think that's a high chance of happening. And then Roman Reigns is just going to take out Seth Rollins with either another spear.
Yeah, well, just to follow that up, Bizzy, you said that Ambrose is, speared so many times. Do you think perhaps Ambrose is not coming into this match 100%, and you think that's going to affect his performance as well as him losing? I mean, Ambrose has got everything against him right now.
Oh, yeah, I think that's going to affect him. I mean, Roman Reigns is not no light guy, so that's definitely going to weigh in on this big event.
Yeah, well, you get speared 3 times in one night. Not exactly easy to come back from. Finally, Ginge, was Seth Rollins a victim of the Elimination Chamber? Or do you think Roman Reigns is truly the rightful champion right now? Is Seth Rollins just unlucky, that it was an Elimination Chamber, Rollins was good, but Reigns just happened to outlast and just picked and chose the right spot, and because it was a 6-match environment, he's just lucky to be a champion right now. If it was a 1-on-1 match, would it be a different story? Do you think Reigns is really the best champion right now? Is he deserving to be the champion?
I mean, it was unfortunate that Rollins lost, but that's life. I mean, he was down to the final 2, and he was the one who got speared and pinned. It's not like it was a fatal 4-way and he didn't get pinned for the championship. He got pinned and he lost the title. So basically, when you get down to that, it was Rollins and Reigns in the last 2. That kind of was a singles match because it was whoever pinned who was the champion. If you look at it like that way.
I think he was a victim of the Elimination Chamber because if you look back at it, last year at Survivor Series, I believe that Rollins beat Reigns for the title. Or retain the title, I mean.
Yeah, I think that was a different Reigns, though. I mean, go back to then. Reigns was nothing like the beast he is now, if you look at it that way. And Rollins maybe was at the peak of his performance back then, but now after all these title matches that he's had, he was probably a bit tired and exhausted by the end of the Elimination Chamber. So maybe there's a difference there.
Roman Reigns, I think he is a new Roman Reigns, like you said. I think Roman Reigns, Survivor Series, was just a guy trying to find his way, just trying to, get his feet wet in the singles division, just trying to see how he goes. Now, I think he's clicked. He's got Paul Heyman by his side. I just think Roman Reigns is a new man, and now he's the champion. I think he truly deserves to be the champion right now. Coming into WrestleMania, Roman Reigns has everything to lose. Ambrose and Rollins has everything to gain. It's WrestleMania. It's a triple threat. It's going to main event WrestleMania. The championship is on the line. It is going to be huge. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude today's WrestleMania pre-show. Big thanks to all our guests for coming on tonight. Remember, WrestleMania is going to be live. That's right. For the first time ever, a pay-per-view on Universe Mode is going to be live on YouTube on the BrendenPlayz YouTube channel Saturday, October 24th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. UK time. It's going to be huge. You guys can come onto the chat, live chat as everything is happening live. First time ever going to do it. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm hoping it works out okay, but it's going to be huge. I just want to thank everyone that come on the show tonight. Ginge, you got a YouTube channel? Plug it for us.
Yeah, it's TheLunaticGinge. I do my pay-per-view reviews there, as you all know if you've listened to the pre-show before. I've done all of 2012. You can go check them out. Obviously, not a good year. And 2002 coming soon. Looking forward to seeing that. Bizzy, you got a channel as well. Plug that one.
It is the Bizzy B. I got a couple of videos on there. Just waiting for that 2k16 to drop to start on fresh.
Are you going to be doing Universe Mode on that one?
Yes, indeed, I am.
Forward to seeing that. Samir, you streamed sometimes on Twitch. Promoted that earlier on the Let's Talk Tuesdays, but tell us about that again.
Well, I do a bit of everything. I mean, I've played superhero games such as Batman. I've done a Universe Mode on there. I'm gonna live stream a lot when WWE 2k15 comes out, and I'm hoping you all come and check it out.
And Slim, do you have anything to promote? I don't know if you do a YouTube channel. Do you have anything to promote here?
Go join the forums.
Yeah.
And then you can read all my diaries.
That's a good idea. Join the forums, BrendenPlayz.com/forums. That's the place we found all these guys. You could get yourself on a pre-show in the future. I don't know if we're going to do another pre-show in the future, up in the air, but if we do in the future, best way to get yourself on this show is by joining up to the forums and being active on there. I want to thank everyone for coming on the show here tonight. It's now time to go check out Batista versus Sheamus to kick off this year's WrestleMania. Thanks, guys, for watching, and enjoy the match. Well, here comes Monday Night Raw's Sheamus here tonight in the pre-show of WrestleMania. Sheamus represents Raw tonight with an opportunity to win the first draft pick in this year's draft. If Sheamus wins, that means Monday Night Raw will get the first draft pick and will have first say in this year's draft. To earn his spot in this match, Sheamus had to go through Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan on the last episode of Universe Mode in a triple threat matchup on main event. Sheamus was the victor. Well, basically, he got pretty lucky. Daniel Bryan hit the running knee on Randy Orton, and Sheamus just kind of fell on Randy Orton and got the pin. It wasn't really thanks to Sheamus, he was just really pick and chose the right spot. He got lucky. But this man, he was in this match by default. SmackDown GM Edge, he didn't want to have a qualifying match. He knew who he wanted to represent his brand, and it was this man, the Animal, Batista, the former World Heavyweight Champion. Last year, he won the World Heavyweight Championship in the main event of WrestleMania for SmackDown. This year, he represents SmackDown one more time to try and get the first draft pick for his brand. But if you ask me, I think this is a bit of a ploy by Edge to try and keep Batista here on SmackDown. I think Batista himself is probably ready to move on and go to Monday Night Raw. I think Batista wants some change, and I don't think Edge really wants to let Batista go. So I think trying to give Batista this match shows some confidence in Batista, and I guess SmackDown GM Edge believes that Batista's good enough, and he wants to try and make Batista feel a part of the team, feel a part of the brand, and doesn't want Batista to go. So here we go, folks. Batista versus Sheamus one-on-one. The winner gets the first draft pick in the draft. And these two men lock up. So Batista, last time we saw him in action was on SmackDown against Christian. And it didn't exactly go the way that Batista planned. He wanted to try and beat the hell out of Christian for Chris Jericho. There's a lot of talk, is Batista and Jericho a tag team? Are they an alliance? Are these two friends watching out for each other? I don't know what's going on between the two right now. But Batista, he was in a match trying to help out Jericho and trying to, I suppose, soften Christian up even further before WrestleMania. Batista, he lost against Christian, and when he tried to attack Christian post-match, he was unable to get the upper hand, and in the end, Christian stood tall, and Batista got out of there. So Batista didn't have a great night, so coming into this one, hasn't got much momentum going his way. Things just haven't been going Batista's way for quite some time, honestly. I think him pairing up with Jericho has been a good move by Batista, just to try and keep him in the spotlight. And Batista's been falling away as a single star for quite some time now, and he's just trying to revive his career, I think. And like I said earlier, many say that he should go to Raw to try and do that. I'm not sure if Edge wants to let him go. I don't know if Batista wants to go himself, but we'll find out. So he's representing SmackDown tonight regardless. Sheamus, a former SmackDown superstar, who has now found Monday Night Raw as his home. And, of course, Sheamus, he was switched over around about this time last year after the draft. So Sheamus himself has found some success after the draft. And on Monday Night Raw, he became a tag team with Rob Van Dam, becoming a tag team champion. And now Sheamus is really stepping up his game. And he's now a potential future world champion, in my opinion. I think Sheamus, if he can continue his success, continue winning some big matches like this one, for example, then I think we might find that Sheamus will certainly be right up there in a list of potential contenders for this WWE Championship right here on Monday Night Raw. And I know Sheamus will definitely want to stay on Raw, that is for sure. He will not want to move away from Raw after all the success that he has had in recent times. So right now it's Batista. He has a hold of Sheamus. He's going to hit the knee right into the kidneys of Sheamus. And a good start here from the Animal. Obviously a chance to get the first draft pick. And how important is the draft pick? I mean, the first draft pick in the draft, it is vital, let's be honest. The first draft pick, it's huge. I mean, your brand gets the first say in the draft, and we've seen some big names. Obviously, the first draft we've ever had was last year. We saw some big names make the jump from brand to brand. So if you have an opportunity to perhaps get the first big name on your show, it can make a huge difference. And obviously, the draft will take place on the next episode of Universe Mode, the first episode on WWE 2k15, Monday Night Raw. There will be lots of interpromotional matches, Raw versus SmackDown matches, and whoever wins those matches will earn their brand draft picks. So that will be very, very exciting indeed. At the moment, Batista launching. Sheamus back in the ring now. Batista again. Here we go. Kick right to the head of Sheamus. It's a good start here by Batista. An opportunity to really gain himself momentum, a big victory here. And we talked about this last year at WrestleMania in the brand versus brand match. But if you win a match for your brand, your GM is going to reward you. If Sheamus wins, you'd have to say The Rock is going to reward Sheamus. But if Batista wins, you're going to have to say Batista's going to be rewarded as well by his SmackDown GM Edge. So this is a good opportunity for both men. I mean, if you win this match, I mean, this is a chance to kind of skyrocket your career to bigger and better things. Your GM is going to be much happier with you and give more opportunities to you, that is for sure, in the future if you can pick up the win for your brand. Batista now has Sheamus. Big right hand there as well. Has Sheamus trying to pick him up. Sheamus! He's going to counter. Now Sheamus drills the knee into Batista as well. So Batista was trying to do something similar now. Batista taking down Sheamus with the clothesline, trying to catch his breath. A bit of a breather. An opportunity to win this one now. The cover. Here we go. Kicks out at 2. Still alive in this one is Sheamus, who has had his dealings with Daniel Bryan in the last, well, couple of months, really. Many thought we were going to see the culmination of that one happen at WrestleMania. We haven't seen it yet, but those two kind of renewed their little rivalry on the recent episode of Main Event as well, because before their triple threat match that they had, of course, Sheamus came out and attacked Daniel Bryan from behind, getting a bit of a cheap shot in, and arguably Daniel Bryan was not really 100% despite almost winning that match. Sheamus stole Daniel Bryan's WrestleMania opportunity. You cannot forget that. Because of Daniel Bryan, Sheamus is in this match to begin with. I mean, Sheamus, he wasn't exactly doing that great in the match. Daniel Bryan hit the running knee, and then, well, Randy Orton was down for the count, and Sheamus just happened to capitalize on Daniel Bryan not being able to get to the cover because he was exhausted. So now Batista, those elbow shots to the nose of Sheamus. Sheamus is dazzled, and he bounces off the ropes now. What's Batista thinking about doing here? Batista continuing the assault. Now he's got a hold of Sheamus, takes him down. Alrighty, Batista's in control. This is a chance for him to win the match for SmackDown. The cover! Kicks out at 2, still in it though. Batista now coming after Sheamus again. Batista working away on the arm of Sheamus now. Might be a good strategy to employ. And oh, big boot there by Batista. Down goes Sheamus. So Batista is in control. Batista on the verge of perhaps winning this match for his brand. And the first draft pick going SmackDown's way. Batista has Sheamus up for the suplex. Now, Sheamus taken down. Batista get to the cover. He'll win this match. He's taking his time. And Sheamus is able to get back to his feet. Slowly. Well, Batista's there first. Sheamus trying to get back there now. Batista unable to capitalize. He's going to go for another suplex. Now, Batista has a chance
Now he has a chance to put this one away, but he chooses not to. Batista though! Well, what about that? Follows it up with a spear. Sheamus in real trouble. And Sheamus just kicking out at 2. Sheamus barely staying in this one. Perhaps we'll see the Batista bomb soon. What's Batista thinking about now? He's got Sheamus in the middle of the ring. Uh-oh! Wait a minute! We've seen him use this before! The Beast Bite! The Beast Bite's locked in! The Beast Bite! And Sheamus! He's tapping out! Yes, he is! Sheamus is tapped out, and SmackDown, they win another interpromotional match. They keep on winning. When it's Raw versus SmackDown, it's just SmackDown every single time coming away with a win. And they've done it again tonight with Batista making Sheamus tap out. He was in complete control. There was the spear. I thought he might be setting up for the Batista bomb next up. Instead, going for the submission. Probably the right idea in my opinion, because it worked. The submission hold, here it was. He hooked the arm that he's been working down of Sheamus, and there it was. He had the hands wrapped around the head of Sheamus, and there's the hand right there. The right hand of Sheamus tapping out. He had to, he had no choice. Batista's done it for SmackDown, and this could be the kickstarter that Batista needs to try and get his career back on track. What a win from Batista. SmackDown has the first draft pick in this year's draft. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no better way to start this year's sprint. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. That's Daniel Bryan's music. And Batista's done his celebration. Sheamus back to his feet, and now Daniel Bryan's in the ring. Sheamus and Bryan. Well, we know Sheamus stole Daniel Bryan's spot, and Daniel Bryan's not happy with it. Oh, the running knee. The running knee by Daniel Bryan, and he's bust Sheamus open in the meantime as well. Oh, yes. Daniel Bryan might be looking for one more. A little bit of revenge, but taking his WrestleMania spot and losing the match for Monday Night Raw. Daniel Bryan taking out Sheamus. Well, what a statement made by Daniel Bryan here tonight in the WrestleMania pre-show. This situation between Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, it is not over yet, that is for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, WrestleMania comes your way Saturday, October 24th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. UK time. It will be live, that's right, live on YouTube, on the BrendenPlayz YouTube channel. Make sure you do not miss it. It will be available to watch after it is live, of course, just like every other time. So if you can't be there live, you can watch it on the replay later on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for the pre-show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like button. Guys, this is a crazy goal. If we can hit 2 likes, I will stream it and I will upload WrestleMania for you guys Saturday the 24th of October, 5 p.m. If you did watch the entire WrestleMania pre-show, make sure you put in the comment section down below so I know. Make a comment with the word WrestleMania. Thanks guys for watching. See you at WrestleMania.